Good morning. Welcome to the CBS AM debrief for this Monday, the 10th of January. Just coming up on just before 9 AM actually. Over the weekend, US non-farms payrolls numbers came out. They weren't as good as expected, and we did see the market get or respond accordingly. The actual number that was printed was 103,000. Our expectation was for 150,000, but the previous was 71,000. So certainly an improvement over that prior month, but not quite as good as some commentators had hoped or expected. To keep in mind that these are new jobs that are being created. So whilst the conclusion there was not that positive, I think the sort of the numbers that were actually printed on the index suggest that it certainly wasn't that bad. If we take a look here at the Dow, it was down 27 points. Sorry, that was the futures. The Dow was down 22 and 0.55 or 0.19% to 11,674. The S&P 500. Similar sort of percentage decline, and the Nasdaq was slightly more at 0.25%. In Europe, the decline was somewhat greater, with the FTSE down 0.58, CAC down almost 1%, DAC down just under 0.5%, and Madrid down 1.46. Certainly seen some really volatile moves out of the Spanish bourse of late, no doubt in part due to that sovereign debt issues that are getting the headlines there. Just in conclusion, on the close of play on Friday, we saw our market down 20 points. Sort of not unsurprising, we saw a fairly tepid conclusion there, particularly going into those important jobs numbers out of the US. Okay, so for our region, SPY 200 here is pointing down 17, and the Hang Seng down 70, and the Nikkei even. Take a look at the commodities here. Crude was at 88.03, down 35 cents. Natural gas at $4.42. Then the rest of the softs, still a bit of a mixed bag. Really, the bigger numbers were lumber down 2.15, oats, rough rice and soy down nearly 2. Big riser again was sugar. We've seen some really big moves there of late, 4.27% up. And then copper still well above this $4 level at $4.28 that was down 4.7 cents. Gold seems to be hovering around this 1360, 1370 level now and kind of consolidating. That was at $1,368.90. Silver at 28.67. And then the currency pairs, the main move is, we saw US dollar strength with the euro buying 1.2877 US dollars and the pound buying 1.5520. US dollar buying 83.25 yen. The Aussie buying 99.4 US dollars and the US dollar buying 99.3 Canadian and 96.87 Swiss francs. Sorry, 0.9687 Swiss francs. Okay, let's have a look here at the some of the data coming out. I'll just pull this up on MarketWatch. This is some of the data that's due out this week out of the States, which should really start to give us a better idea where exactly has the US sort of turned the corner. Are we going to see household spending start to push firms to start adding to their payrolls, and in turn more jobs creating more demand and so on and so forth. So really, all in all, pretty important week for some of the numbers out of the US. We'll take a look at those here. Locally, nothing too significant. We've got some New Zealand trade balance and Australian retail sales. They're both registering medium import. We're expecting a 0.3 on retail sales. That was after that shocker that we had before Christmas, negative 1.1%. Going through to Tuesday, of course we've got our trade balance data, our home loans locally, Canadian housing starts. Then we've got US monthly budget statement. And then of course our employment numbers, unemployment and employment. We're expecting a 5.1. Okay, let's just try that one again. I don't know why those figures didn't sound quite right. Okay, apologies there. Okay, so let's start again. GDP Consumer Price Index year on year for December. That's a high importance number. For Tuesday, okay, I've now really messed this up. Apologies, folks, I was on the right one all along. Okay, so Bank of England rates decision, 0.5% expected to stay the same. Then we've got the retail sales numbers. So this is coming into the end of the week here, which will give us an idea of what the consumer's doing, how that's translating into retail sales numbers. And then we've got the University of Michigan Michigan Confidence figures out there on Friday night, our time. Okay, so we'll move on here, and apologies for that stuff up there. Have a quick look here at the Balkan Trader. I just want to look again. I've looked at this, we've looked at this several times. This is where we're at with our ASX S&P 200 index, and we are tracking back down here. We aren't getting anywhere near this upward trend line, so fairly comfortable there. But it still does give us some room to continue to sail off here. And I would expect that if we do see some of these US numbers coming out that are on the poor side, we can easily see it track down towards this lower side here. If not, hopefully we'll start to see a meaningful break of this in a downward trend line, and we'll be moving onward and upward. Okay, so we're a little bit over there, so I'm going to leave it here this morning. Jonathan's away this week, so you were getting to see me for the rest of the week here. Bye for now.